So, welcome to new episodes of Marketing Funnels with Nipun Sial. So, today we have with us Jonathan Mast, founder of Whitebeard Strategies. First of all, Jonathan, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to our conversation.
And I love like the beard you have, and you named the company Whitebeard. What's the secret behind it? What was the exact reason?
Well, the backstory is when my first granddaughter was born, first grandchild, about 8 years ago, I thought I should grow a beard. It sounded like something fun to do, and it stuck, and everybody in the family liked it. And in 2023, when I decided to leave the agency that I had founded and had worked at for about 12 years, we were looking for names, and out of the blue, we came up with Whitebeard something and decided to go with Whitebeard
Uh-huh.
Strategies, and we did, and it's now just become the brand.
Amazing. So, how was your journey like of transitioning from agency to into AI coaching model? And lots of people think that they are very late in AI, but you did a pretty awesome job from 2020. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I really came across the what we consider AI today, the graphical user interface and all that in late 2022. In fact, I had my agency, and I remember I was on a part of a mastermind group at the time, and one of the other members had talked about this new chat tool called Chat GPT, and we did a lot in the web world, and so I thought it was just going to be some other website chat tool, and candidly didn't pay much attention to it until it got released, and all of a sudden I'm like, in the first day or two, I'm seeing this is just blowing up. What's going on? There's something unique about it. Then I realized that my assumption had been totally wrong, and it was an entirely different type of tool for us. And I really dove into it and just discovered that it provided massive value to me and my team by allowing us to save time, make more money, deliver more value. I was absolutely blown away. I also, though, saw my team, they were not necessarily as excited about it as I was. They were more in the, uh-oh, is this going to take our jobs mode? And I really dove into the
Yeah.
fact at that point that, no, I didn't believe it was. I didn't think that was a big risk. I have always believed that AI amplifies skill and experience. And if you have skill and experience, you're going to be able to leverage AI to do really well. If you don't have that, you can still leverage it to learn and to grow and get there faster. But I don't see it as a threat. I see it as a massive opportunity, and decided it was a good time to step away from my agency and begin hopefully teaching others what an incredible opportunity I saw it to be.
Amazing. So that's come my next question. Like, as a founder, you have a vision over here, but sometimes your team is not aligned with your vision. They think that this weird guy is doing new experiments now. So how you can align your vision with the team? Like, if there are lots of founders watching this show, so how your vision of a founder can be aligned to the team as well?
Well, I think the biggest part of that is just making sure that you're leading and empowering your team. We need to look at AI and understand that to many of our team members, AI looks and appears to be threatening. And unfortunately, there's plenty of voices out there, as you and I both have heard, trying to tell everybody that, oh my gosh, it's going to replace all of us, and we're going to be sitting on the sofas
Yes.
eating bonbons or starving because we're not going to have any work to do. I don't buy
Yeah.
into that one bit. I don't believe it to be the case. If I look at technological innovation throughout the last century or so, never has technological innovation wiped out all of our jobs. It has always, by the way, with every major tech shift, there have been voices predicting that it would. When the steam engine came out, when the internal combustion engine came out, when the computer came out, when we got electricity, even going back to the printing press, there were always people saying that, oh my gosh, it's gonna change everything in a bad way. This is dangerous. Baloney, it's not. It is going to change things, but in a good way. Like I said, it amplifies skill and experience. And for the most part, the only way you're going to lose a job, in my opinion, is you're going to lose it to somebody that does what you do, that embraced using AI so they could do it better and more efficiently, as opposed to you going, well, I've always done it this way, so I'm going to keep doing it that way. That didn't work when I started getting in the workforce and computers were showing up on desks and people were going, I want to keep my editing machine. I want to keep my typewriter. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. I'm just excited again because to me, what's really exciting is it's the first time technology has come about that allows me as a business owner, as a leader, to save time and make more money, while at the same time providing more value to my employees and to my team and to my customers, those people that I serve, and we can do all of it at the same time. And that to me is what's so exciting.
That's really amazing. And lots of people, like even the agencies right now, like lots of people switch to AI. But some of the agency freelancer marketers wants to start their AI journey. So what are the tips you recommend to them to start? an AI?
Well, the first thing I recommend is don't expect AI to take over everything. You can't just hand off projects to AI and expect it's going to get it done. It's like looking at my sink of dirty dishes and expecting AI to clean it. It's not going to happen. But I think a lot of us, especially on the marketing side, we look at AI and we try it a couple times and we're like, cool, I don't have to write social media posts for my clients anymore. I can let AI do it. I don't have to create marketing copy. I can let AI do it. Yes, that's true. You can, but you as the expert, as the pro, you still need to be involved. I like to refer to it as the conductor of the orchestra. Imagine we're sitting at an event and there's an orchestra playing. There's a conductor at the front of that orchestra moving his hands in ways I don't understand, but the orchestra does, and they're paying attention, and he's guiding the process. He's making sure that everybody plays at the right time in the right way and stays in sync. And that's still your job. AI is just the orchestra now. AI can do a lot of that, but you need to guide it through the process, and you need to make sure that it's being done right. The conductor of the orchestra doesn't hear somebody and play the wrong note or play the wrong passage or have the timing off and not say anything about it. They don't go, well, that's what he decided to do,
Mm.
so I guess that's okay. No, they in practice, they talk about it, they address it, they fix things. You, again, that's our role as leaders and as users of AI, is to take AI as a tool, but we're the conductor. We're still driving the ship, so to speak.
Amazing. And over here, I have a question. Like now, AI is coming up with the recent. Like if you talk about any of the tool, like ChatGPT now come up with the image model, the FNS, then Google Nano, Gemini. Which one is your favorite tool?
It really depends on what you're doing, and candidly, probably who's been had the latest release. Everything changes so rapidly right now. I subscribe to all the major tools: ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, Manus, many others, and I use them for different reasons. Today, my go-to, as we record this, end of 2026 or 2025, my go-to today is Google Gemini. I use it for most of what I do. ChatGPT, though, is still an excellent model. Claude, I use pretty much exclusively for copywriting. Manus, I use for bigger projects and brainstorming. And then I use Grok occasionally, and it's fine. What I love to tell people is there is no perfect model, and the model that I use may not be the one that fits you the best. The key is to pick one model,
Mm.
learn how to use it, because even if I used Meta's
Yeah.
AI, which is free and not the best in my opinion, not terrible, but I could still do so much more with Meta AI than I could do without any AI, that if that's the only thing I had access to, it would still allow me to save time, to make more money, and to serve people better.
But if you need to choose, like I'm not talking about your one favorite tool, if you need to choose them on one, like, okay, this is my favorite. Every have thing has a different purpose. Like, okay, Google Nano Banana is now creating good thumbnails and other stuff. But if we talk about like, okay, one tool, okay, this is like everybody's having some of the one of the tool which they, okay, even if they are not updating, but they like it. Okay, this one is like quite good. Daily you are checking it.
And again, on a daily basis right now, I use Google Gemini. But
Yeah.
for the cost, especially as a business leader, for the $20 a month or $30 a month on the team plans that I pay, you couldn't convince me not to be using multiple models. There's no comparison. There's no
Right.
better investment I can make. So I appreciate the
Yeah.
question. If you find yourself in that case, go figure a way to go make $100 a month and subscribe to ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude.
Amazing. And you ran a community also of the AI. The thing is, like, I have seen lots of,
Mhm.
like, I'm just talking about what market is going on. Earlier, if we see before 2021, so what people were doing is they just record a course and they just sell it for 4 years, 5 years. The same course. Like, they have recorded
Mhm.
something related to selling, something related to like Photoshop, they're selling the same stuff. But now AI, if you're recording something for today, it might not relevant after 2 months also. Like if I'm just creating a custom GPT and now
Correct.
another thing comes like Manus. So you run a community. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how you let your community members keep updating with the trend?
Well, we're really focused on just delivering value. So I subscribe to the reality of give away the information and charge for access and implementation. In other words, I'll tell you how to do virtually anything. My team will tell you how to do virtually anything. If you need guidance or you want to work with me directly on that or my team directly, that's when it costs money to do that. And it's worked out really, really well. Things are changing, like you mentioned, almost every day, certainly every week, things are changing. But one of the keys that I want to encourage people on is if you learn from someone who can teach you the basic foundational aspects of a tool, as opposed to getting caught in the latest features, then most of that base training can still be very applicable. Very little, for example, has changed in the last 12 months, even the last 18 months, from what it takes to write a good prompt to get a good response out of the engines. The engines, the AI tools, provide better responses than they ever have. But the framework that I
Yeah.
used a year and a half ago is the same framework I use today when I'm prompting AI how to do that. So learn the foundations, the building blocks. Don't learn specific tools, at least at first. Wait until you know you need that. Then once you've identified it, then learn that tool.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And I've seen like you every day come up with a new post. Hey, this is the new update. How you come up with that trends? Because earlier, without with giving the information, you need to be like an authority now. You need to always test it. Like,
Mhm.
okay, it is working like this. Then only you can go to the internet and tell, hey, this is the thing. So how you keep on updating? Are you subscribed to any newsletter or you read like Twitter? What's the secret behind like the getting updating from the new AI trends?
I'm an avid reader, and I have a large RSS feed set up. If people are familiar with that, a real simple
Yeah.
syndication that brings me news every single day, news releases, new software, that. And I pay very close attention to that, pick the things that I think are most relevant to my audience. And those are the things that I then test and create information about.
That's really amazing. Even like that's come to a point like I go high level software comes up with daily with lots of updates. So I was always like falling behind. I need to go to their RSS feed and check. Then I created an AI agent, which they do is every day it's coming up a new info, it just send it to my Slack. Second, I was not aware like how to implement the same. So I put up a prompt and then it comes up with a video how to use it. So I think that RSS feed is quite good stuff. And if people wants to get to know about your community, which is the best way, or you can share a screen where we can see exactly what is going on in the community, how they can join it.
Yeah. So if you're talking about for my company, how do they best contact me, or
Yeah.
in general?
Yes, for
Yeah. For me,
contact you
the
and how they
easiest
can
way
join
is,
you.
yeah, the easiest way is just remember my name. It's Jonathan Mast, and go to jonathanmast.com/linktree. Or if you just remember AI and Whitebeard, you can search for AI and Whitebeard, and my website will come up. And there's links there to join my free community. We've got tons of free resources. We've got multiple free communities on Facebook and off of Facebook for those of us that think Facebook's a little arbitrary and capricious sometimes. We've got both, and we're there just to add value.
And so I will put that all those in description. Here comes the next question related to this. So AI white beard guy. So did SEO for the same? How it's exactly ranking?
The I mean, SEO has in my mind has changed quite a bit over the last few years. You know, we're
Yeah.
not so focused on keywords. We're really trying to rank well for topics related to AI training and AI mentorship, things like that. And we rank well. Based on my experience, we're certainly growing our community and getting that. But we're really not focused on specific keywords any longer. We really believe that the AI engines and Google are really focused on topics now. In other words, how do you become an expert in a
Right.
topic, as opposed to, I'll pick if you're a chiropractor in Delhi, that's great, but you want to be probably known for more than just your location. Now we want to be known for your specialties and your expertise. Really, it goes back to Google's EEAT model that they talk about, experience and expertise and authority and trust.
Right. So here there is a difference now in the SEO also. People wants to rank on ChatGPT, Gemini, search engines. So any tips for them how they can rank on that?
Create lots of helpful, valuable content for your audience, talking about the topics that you want to be an expert in. If you're not sure, look at concepts like pillar-based SEO that will explain to you how you can pick different topics, different pillars in SEO, and then create helpful, valuable content. I think the biggest mistake people make when they're trying to leverage AI to do SEO is that they think that just lots of content is enough. The content needs to be
Yeah.
valuable to your audience, and just putting out content for the sake of putting out content isn't going to win you any fans or going to do you much good when it comes to SEO. You need to make sure that you're adding value through that content, and then be consistent so that the algorithms, when they look, they not only go, wow, Jonathan, you're writing a lot about AI, but you're also consistent. I see you're posting every day, you're posting regularly, and that so that they can rely on you to go, okay, Jonathan is an expert in this area, or Nipon's an expert in this area. And that is, I think, the biggest thing that entrepreneurs need to focus on. The other thing to remember is that video is critical. Don't forget that just grabbing your phone, I've got mine right here, and holding it up selfie
Right.
style and recording a message that answers a question for your audience will have incredible value to both you and your audience. We don't have to have a perfect lighting setup. I don't need a perfect studio. I simply need to show up and add value to my audience with my content.
That's really amazing tip, like to add a can value. And we met over at Alex Hamose event also. Even Alex was talking like I put up 1,000 reels related to value content. And I think that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Like lots of people think that they need to be have a perfect setup, perfect thing, then they will be only show up.
Well, Alex Hormozi is a great model there. When he recorded the audio for his first book, you probably know this. I know some actors, but he literally went
Yeah.
into a closet. He didn't have a recording studio, and he put pillows all around the closet so that the sound wasn't bouncing. And he didn't have an amazing microphone at the
Yeah.
time, and he didn't have the gobs of money that he has and the crews and all that. And he literally recorded it sitting in a closet surrounded by pillows so that he could create a good, high quality recording that, again, the information added value to his audience. And that's one of the many ways that he's grown so rapidly is by adding value, focusing not on him, not telling you all about Alex and how he's amazing, but telling stories that added value that taught lessons. And you can do the same thing. Every one of us as entrepreneurs can do that.
Right. And how you are feeling like the agency model is going on now, it's coaching and some implementations with AI. So lots of people who are running agency are sometimes get fed up because they lost a client and every month they need to come up with the new clients to do that strategies and other stuff. So do you like the coaching part or agency part? Which and what's your call on this?
Well, I was in the agency world for about 15 years and I enjoyed it very much. I still think it's a very valuable and valid model. Personally, I prefer the coaching model. It fits my personality better. But again, everybody's unique. I've talked to other people that wouldn't necessarily excel on the coaching side. The key in my mind in either case is you need to build a community of people so that you're seen as the go-to expert in your niche. Whether you're running an agency, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're running the local meat market or local restaurant, you need to be seen as the expert in your niche by your community. Now, my community happens to be global, yours is global, but maybe if I'm running a restaurant nearby, my community might be 6 blocks around where I'm at, and I need to draw people there, but I still need to be the expert at whatever it is I do with that community. When you do that, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you can succeed beyond your wildest dreams.
And can you give some tips like how people can build up their community? You built a huge community. So any tips like how if as a starter, any niche, like either they are a chiropractor, either a gym trainer, either they are into AI, how they can build up their community?
Great question. I think the key is to add value, and add value. And by that, I mean, continue adding value to your community before you try to sell them. Don't lead with a sales pitch. Nobody wants to be sold. I spent almost an entire year building my community. We built it up to, I think, about 50,000 people before I made a single offer to sell them anything. And that worked wonders because I gained a lot of trust in the process. Now we're almost 10 times larger 2 years later, but even now today, I average about 10 to 15 posts a day. One of those may be sales related. The other 10 to 14 are value related. We're adding
Yeah.
value, we're teaching, and that's why people pay attention. If all I did was sold, nobody would pay attention to any of my content and those marketing messages would go unheeded.
So now I come to like 14 to 15 posts. So how you are creating that and maintaining the value and standards of everything. So it should not be like crap. It should always give value. So what's this? Because lots of people think that posting a single day is consistency, but I don't think so that posting a single day is like to be have in the game, but you are not running. So how exactly you're doing 14 to 15 posts?
I leverage AI. Again, I'm acting as that conductor that I talked about
Okay.
of the orchestra.
Mm,
It's my ideas, but
mm,
I've set up and trained my AI models to write the type of content that I want to write, but that also adds value to my audience. And so when I come up with an idea, instead of me having to take 20 to 30 minutes to write that post, I can generally write that post once I have the idea in less than a minute. And then I can proofread it and make sure it's good and post it. And so I've taken what used to be a 30 to 60-minute process and turned it into something that takes about 5
mm.
minutes. That means I used to try to post once a day and it took me 30 to 60 minutes a day. I now can post 10 plus times a day in that same 60 minutes. So it really isn't more time, but it is focus and purpose. And again, relentless focus on adding value to your audience, not talking about me. I don't try to talk about myself. I don't try to talk about Whitebeard strategies. I talk about the value that you can get from learning AI. And as a result of that, hopefully people see me as an expert, and then they search me out for the things that we do offer and sell.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Even like I was a bottleneck of like shooting content for the social media. So I built an avatar of mine and then do the whole process. It takes me around 4 to 5 months to make a perfect sound and everything goes on without my dependency. Still now we are able to figure out like, okay, now we can post 10 to 12 videos as an AI clone of mine. So that's really good thing, like 14 to 15 posts. Now, if as an expert, like there is a freelancer community which is right now growing up. Now, after like a while, when you're running agency successful into 7 figures, how they can scale more about AI because everybody's now flooded up with AI services. Like everybody's asking, hey, we do AI services. How they differentiate?
Well, again, I think the key is thinking back to your role as the conductor of the orchestra. It's your expertise that is being validated. It's your expertise that's being amplified by AI. If I was still running an agency, I would absolutely lean into the fact that we are an AI amplified agency, not an AI marketing agency, but an AI amplified marketing agency. And I would talk about the experience that we have and how now with AI, we can provide our services faster. We can provide them in a more capacity, and we can help you provide and make more money as a result of that. That also means that we can now serve more clients. And so again, I would still focus on AI as a tool we use, not necessarily that is what makes us who we are, because it's that DNA of us as the leader that makes our organization who we are. AI simply helps us deliver our services more efficiently.
And lots of people, majorly after their 40s, they get into the comfort zone. Either they are into 9 to 5, even as an entrepreneur, also sometimes like 30-40% will gain again comes into the comfort. Okay, if they are running good, okay, that's good. What's your secret? Like at this age, you are very much like knowledgeable. You are always coming up with the trends. I didn't see like in my life, like I say only 1%, 2% of people at your age doing that stuff. So I want to know that secret. What keeps you motivated to do that?
Very simply, my goal is to help as many people as possible embrace AI as a tool that helps amplify their skill and experience. And my goal right now is to help 10 million people in the next 5 years embrace AI and start using it effectively. We've got a long ways to go as we do that. Our community is about 500,000 people right now, so we've got a long ways to go. But that's
Right.
my goal. And again, I believe so clearly that AI is a tool, and I want to teach people how to use that effectively.
So we'll put that AI community link in the description. It's a paid one or free one community?
It's free, 100% free.
Okay. So people who are watching this episode, go and subscribe. It's in the description. Now, my next question, how your days look like? So how exactly, like how you start, you exercise, or you directly goes to like see what are new things coming up with it, how your day looks like?
I wake up, fairly normal in the morning, about 6:30 in the morning. And I'm a man of faith, so I begin by doing my devotions and spending some time with my Lord and Savior. And then I move into business after that. I have a kickoff with my team. We have an amazing team of 9 individuals that serve our audience, and I meet with them every weekday morning for my time just to make sure that they've got everything that they need. And then I dive in to focus on adding value. What's happened overnight, because a lot of times it's things happened overnight or whatever that need to be addressed as far as AI changes and that. I try to make sure that, again, we're really focused on adding value in the posts, the content that we're putting out, whether that's social media, whether that's video, whether that's blogs, really focused on that and making sure that we're doing that well. And then respond to my community. I'm engaged in it every single day, Monday through or Sunday through Saturday. I'm engaged with that community all the time,
No
making sure my
worries.
community's got everything they need and responding to them across the board. So yeah, it's really just a matter of making sure that, again, my community is getting serviced and that we're adding value. And then from a monetary perspective, we're just looking for opportunities where we can add value to our community so that they can look ahead and they can go, okay, this would be a value to me. And then all of our trainings are very affordable by most of our peers compared to most of our peers. Probably the biggest thing I hear is, Jonathan, you charge more money. We don't. We want to make our trainings very affordable to people. And we begin everything free. Literally, I told somebody the other day, he's like, I don't have the money for a course. What do I do? And I'm like, hang out in our free community. We provide so much value in that community. You can learn pretty much everything there if you just spend some time in the community, read the posts, implement what we talk about. And that's what we encourage people to do.
Here comes my next question, like about the remote team. Lots of founders think that, okay, the team needs to be sit with, and lots of people found it difficult to manage the remote team. And some of the founders do micro manage. So how exactly, what's your strategy and what are your tips? People who are handling remote team.
Don't try to hire the cheapest remote team player you can find, because it's going to be like hiring the cheapest employee to work in your office. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to be as focused. They're simply not going to do as good a job. Be the highest paid employer in your global market. In other words, pay well, hire the best people. Doesn't matter where in the world you're hiring teams from. When you hire the best people, you're going to get amazing results out of that. It is far more economical as a business to hire an A player, somebody who's really on top of their game and does a great job, than it is to hire a B player. Because in general, it takes about 3 B players to do the work of 1 A player. Well, even if I can hire that B player for a third less than the A player, I'm ultimately paying twice as much money by paying 3 B players to do the job of 1 A player. And the same goes down to C players and D players. It's not proven to be, perfect, but it generally takes about 3 people to do the work of somebody at one level above them. So max out your budget on what you can spend on your people and hire the best people you can afford. Don't use remote and global employees as a way to go, "Oh, I can go ahead and I can hire somebody for $3 an hour because I know that's." No, hire somebody at $15 an hour and get the best possible person you can. You will get magnitudes of more work done, and it'll be much better.
That's really amazing tip. Like lots of people, what they do is they hire a cheap talent and then they again stuck in the same repetitions, like they are doing mistakes and then you are just
Exactly.
covering up. That's where founder is not able to get. And lots of people think that, okay, it's they are getting cheap and they will be a good thing. They can scale it to a next thing. So that would not be possible. Amazing. And if we talk about, like, let's talk about some, if we need to choose one in every category, like we ask about the AI stuff. So if we talk about best AI tool for image creation,
Today, it's probably ChatGPT's brand new 1.5 they came out with last week or the week before. It was Nano Banana, and Nano Banana is great from Google, but I got to tell you, for a lot of what I'm doing, ChatGPT is doing a better job this week than what Nano Banana is.
and best AI tool for video creation.
Well, for AI video, I think it's probably depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to create faceless video, I'm a huge fan of Syllabi. If you're trying to just create B-roll or short clips that go together, I'm a huge fan of Google's VO.
And like it's owned by Syllabus, owned by like Austin. So Austin is again a good friend of us.
Austin Armstrong
Yeah.
is the
And
CEO.
he's
Yeah,
did an
he's
amazing
a
job.
great guy, and
Yeah.
yeah, he has, and it's a great tool for faceless video if that's something you're looking to do.
And if we want to create an app,
Well, vibe
so
coding, I
which
think, is
one
going
you
to be a
think is best
major
tool?
thing. Yeah, I think vibe coding is going to be really important in 2026. My favorite tool right now is probably Base 44. Lovable is also good. Manus is a great way to create apps, web-based apps and things like that. I think the key is to define there's both web apps you can create that run on a web browser, and then there's apps that run on our phones, literally that run on our iPhones and Androids. I have not developed any apps for the phones, but I have developed a lot of web apps. And I believe that the micro app is really where we're going to be seeing a lot of energy in 2026. Not somebody trying to recreate GHL or Salesforce or something like that, but finding a
Mhm.
problem that you as an entrepreneur are running into and solving that one problem with a micro app. One of my favorites is just for social media. You'd asked earlier, how do I create social media? I use a micro app to help me create that. That's been trained and has instructions. And now, instead of me having to spend lots of time doing that, as I said, I can do this 10 posts in the time it used to take me to do about one.
That's really amazing. And that's where you are putting all those info, whatever is in your mind, into that app. Then only app will work. Lots of things people think
Hmm.
that tools are crap. The way you are using tool is it's all depend on like how you will get the result.
Absolutely.
Right? So best tool for R&D. So if any research you need to do.
Probably Manus right now. I really love Manus as a tool for research development and for brainstorming, particularly its ability to run multiple threads and do really comprehensive research. But there are other good ones, but that would be my choice today.
And recently they got funding also, so to scale it to
Yes.
the next level, the menace. Yeah. And over here, like we are talking about like the tools and the stuff, which is quite good. Like, okay, so people keep on learning. If we want exact stuff, like just like you did with like an app, if we want like it should sounds like me, right? Like me, which tool you recommend so that everything which a no coder guy can also implement.
Well, I don't think it really matters what tool you use if you want content to be created like you. It really depends on how you train it. I don't actually think the tool makes any difference whatsoever. I really believe that's it. Now, if we're looking at creating like AI audio, that would be different. Then I would recommend the Levin Labs. But if we're just looking for, I
Yeah.
want social media posts that have my tone and style, I want blog post marketing copy that has my tone and style. I don't think it's the tool. I think it's how it's trained, making sure it understands you well enough so that it doesn't sound like AI.
So if you want to give some steps to our community, like if somebody wants to start and have exact writing, how they write, so what are the steps they need to take? It can be any tool, but you need to give the generalized steps, like what will be the knowledge base, how they can create all those stuff.
Yeah, a couple things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to instruct the AI tool of my choice to interview me and ask me every question it needs to know so that it can create a mimic. So I'd call it a mimic of who I am to sound like me, my tone, my style, so that when it's creating content, it reflects who I am. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload samples of that content for it to analyze in addition to having it interview me. So if I'm working on, for example, a tool to write draft emails and provide me with drafts that I can approve and send out, I'm not going to necessarily give it my stage presentations. I'm going to give it a bunch of my best emails and let it review that. If I'm looking for something to do social media, I'm going to grab my best social media posts and upload those. If I'm looking to have it help me do training, I'm going to take my best training transcripts and upload those. So upload content that's relevant to what you're doing, but don't forget to have the AI use that content, but also to interview you and ask you questions so that it can learn who you are effectively.
That's really good. My next question is like you are a coach, you do done for you, and you are a good speaker also. I've seen you in lots of event as a keynote. So how you manage your
Thank you.
time to do all those stuff?
I use AI. I use it to amplify my time and to get things done faster and simpler. I literally have, right now I've got Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT and Manus and Perplexity all open on my computer. I'm using them all day long. Earlier today, I had to run to the market to pick up a prescription, and I used it while I was driving. I used voice mode to answer questions. While I was in the parking lot, I was responding to my customer service team because I can do that very fast. The second tip that I give to everybody is instead of typing, talk to your AI. Every AI model allows you to talk to it using your microphone. And it's so much
Yeah.
faster to do that than it is to type. Talk to your AI, don't type.
Right, and that's I think like even I face that because when you are writing, you are not able to express all your thoughts. But when you are speaking, it's very easy. Right now, I use like some of the tools don't allow us to speak. I use Whisper Flow just to convey it to the team, like, hey, what I need
Me
to
too.
do. So this is like, yeah, this is like amazing tool which are helping us out to like have more ideas. The more I think the prompting and the more way you communicate your team and with AI, the more good it will become. Like the more you are giving the stuff to AI.
Absolutely.
And one last question before we wrap up. In 2026, what do you think like will come or as per your prediction? Everybody's doing some of the prediction and you are very experienced guy in which way the industry will go? Like as an agency marketer, what are your tips if people wants to like they have New Year resolutions and other stuff, what they will do in 2026? They can help us to them to scale.
I think the AI tools are going to continue to grow and expand. Their capabilities are going to expand. I think from an agency's perspective in particular, as you asked, the main difference we're going to see is that our clients are going to become more and more knowledgeable about AI, and they're going to begin demanding that we're using AI tools to
Mm.
provide the value. We're not going to be able, it will no longer be what sets us apart. It'll now be a requirement, and our ability to demonstrate to our clients that we're the best conductor of that orchestra, that's what's going to set the difference. Not what tools we're using, but our ability to be the best conductor on behalf of our client.
That really amazing. And it connected a dot like everybody wants, they don't want the effort, they want the results. That's where clients come in. They don't matter like how many tools you are using. The only thing matter is how they are getting the good results out of that. You use any tool, but they want
Exactly.
results. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining the show. I will put all those in the description. And it was lovely talking